really good.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah,
like,
what a Western was.
It's a shame though that you have to see a sequel for a movie that came out a long time ago, and that sequel to the movie that came out a long time ago is a spin-off to one of DreamWorks' biggest franchise that also completely changed the game of how their movies were going to be structured from that far.
Well, see, so this is very much into the Spider-Verse, the fact that I understand that it used to do something different.
But you don't have to subvert things just for subverting's sake either.
No, I mean, like, animation-wise.
Oh, yeah.
Because what they do is...
I was noticing all kinds of fun things. Interesting
stuff. A lot of the cool stuff you can do with 3D it's just normal stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, just to understand that you can spin the camera on.
Yes, there's no reason to keep it stable.
The use of slowing down the frame rate works really well and helps a lot of scenes have more of a painterly feel to it.
Like some movies I can forgive for not being that 3D cinematic because they were trying something new. Like a good example would be Tangled. Tangled was one of Disney's bigger first 3D movies.
Tangled would never have not been a 2D movie made 3D because it was trying.
That's what I was going to say.
They were playing it super safe.
Yeah, and what I'm also saying though is that outside the manage was her hair and stuff, so there's a lot of things with that. They were figuring out.
Like, I like
Bolt was good, but Bolt was
trying to be diet DreamWorks.
Yeah, Bolt didn't figure out anything that Disney... I mean, Bolt, nobody even remembers that movie. Tangled had to do good, but and it did do good. But it didn't do anything interesting with the camera like this movie.
Well, it's not that it's ever a fact. So a good example will be, you can tell that people love anime.
Yeah.
Because of all that stuff. You can tell they like...
like even also old-fashioned comics and stuff like that.
Well, that's what I said. You got that. You got the... You know, the lowering of the frame rate in certain areas to make the fights more fun. The fact that they understand that they have a 3D camera that they can use. The fact that they understand a Western.
Yeah.
Because a lot of those tricks, like when they zoomed into all the characters' heads, that was super Western.
Well, yeah.
The musical's actually really good. I actually really like that one Puss in Boots song that it opens up with.
Oh, I did too. I'm going to look up the soundtrack.
They made him like absurdly cute in the first scene.
They really did make him adorable. I want to keep him as a pet.
Oh, yeah.
But, I feel like, one thing, this isn't a flaw of the movie, but it was one thing that I was thinking of, because I didn't know who the villain was at all. I've seen that villain. I saw the villain picture on Twitter, and I didn't know what people were talking about. Okay, so a little bit of story. Here, one person posted on Twitter saying, I like this guy, the guy who did the character designs. I didn't see the credits, so I didn't know his name.
I really like the character designs.
The guy who did the character designs, he says, I like this guy's designs, but I just wasn't feeling it for him. His backstory is also really black. Or not in slacking, that's what the person said. Then Mari Loves Comics retweeted the post saying the design is and the character is supposed to be like that, and there's not supposed to be anything deep. Mari then got a whole bunch of crap dumped on her, and people were accusing her of bullying the guy, and then it got into a long conversation of boring generational trauma and all that. So, yeah, because prior to that, Mari was...
you went on Twitter and got mad.
Basically, and Mari wasn't even doing anything wrong. No, she was just saying, like, people were accusing her of bullying the guy, and, like, the guy, I can understand his complaints. It's like the villain was just a very straightforward villain, and he wasn't very simple and very, like, one note, some people don't like that.
No, if you expect a subversion and you don't get a subversion, you feel like you've been subverted.
It's not even the fact that it's no subversion. It's just the fact that he wasn't like.
No, what I'm saying is you're told exactly who he is, and then you're expecting a subversion.
Yeah,
and it's a subversion.
Like I said, it's not even the fact. It's not even like the fact that it's a subversion either, though, because there is sometimes like villains who don't subvert are very interesting, and some people might not think him. It's like. Very, and then anyway, so that was just kind of funny because prior to that, Mari, I think the reason why people were jumping on Mari so much is because people were, she's made an ever tweets. I miss all the Disney villains of the past, and I don't like the new ones as much. And then that was brought up in every conversation of generational trauma and how we need villains like the one from Zootopia or something.
So, one thing we say is, so you heard Forspoken and how it destroyed Agi's prophecy?
The video game?
Yes.
No, I haven't. I don't know much about
No,
this.
you know it exists.
I know about the video game.
So,
I was gonna watch some Yellow Flash videos on
Yeah, so
it.
basically there's a game called Agi's Prophecy. Super cool looking. It was used in a tech demo to show off the Luminous engine.
Yeah.
That game got reworked somehow into Forspoken. Again, gaming development process is very confusing, and that could just be a realistic development.
Mm-hmm.
It is very much Americanized humor, like whoa, I'm in a world where I'm fighting dragons.
Mm.
Like, that's so effing cool, like all that kind of stuff. It's just so bad. It's just bad. But someone was saying that saying that Forspoken has bad dialogue, and it was showing a clip of the final scene in Kingdom Hearts 2, where Riku and Sora were talking on the beach in the dark margins.
Mm-hmm.
And like Lolly was even defending it, saying like, "Bro, like a sincere moment between two friends."
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, that's the thing. Sincerity is frowned upon, and a villain can't just be a villain.
Yeah.
Well, you already got your quote unquote slightly not twist villain, but you got your antagonist with the Goldilocks and the Three Bears.
Yeah. Well, I first thought she was going to be the villain. I'm like, okay, a crazy female villain. I actually didn't quite catch on the fact that she was Goldilocks, because since we were seeing her in the dark, I couldn't tell her hair color.
Well, first one she was black.
That's what I thought too. I'm sorry. I'm racist.
Because this one's black. I probably knew that, and I was like, wait, but I thought the villain was like a dude.
Yeah.
And I thought the Three Bears like, oh, it's Goldilocks.
No. Jack was totally a trans woman.
Well, no, we had the freaky. He had the freaky proportion.
Cut that part out.
No, I'm gonna keep that.
No, I'm gonna lose all my friends.
No. There's a one of the FNAF books has a kid who believes that he's a robot. He believes that he's a robot, but he has to pretend to be human. And so he does all these things to pretend to be a robot. He starts slowly changing himself after his mom kills herself.
Yeah.
He slowly starts changing himself more and more to be a. I'm gonna get over next thing. To be a robot, kind of that's only. To be a robot, and some people asked the creator of that book hey, is this a trans allegory? Because he keeps replacing more and more body parts, and then finally he realizes one day he's like, oh wait, I'm not a robot, I'm actually human.
Yeah.
But he'd already cut off his legs and replace them with prosthetics.
That's the one thing about cyber.
And the guy's like, no, it's not. And I'm like, it's very. See, he's like, no, it's not a trans metaphor. But I'm like, this is what I love about J.R. Tolkien. It's not an allegory, it's applicable. So I don't care if it's not a trans allegory. If you constantly think of a trans allegory, this is totally applicable to it.
Yeah, one person.
But back to the movie.
Back to the movie. We're digressing. Okay. Anyway.
But no, the story was very simple. It's very nice. It was just a good. It reminds.
Straightforward.
No. See, this reminds me. I'm longing for the serials of yesteryear. I watched Temple of Doom recently. Super good movie. It is not as good as Raiders or The Last Crusade, in my opinion. But I like the old serials. I think we should bring them back. That's why I like.
Well, one thing I do also like though is it did kind of have a little bit of a cinematic, because for when I first saw Puss in Boots, the first one, I was younger then. Keyword younger. I did actually I had to try to figure out wait, is this connected to Shrek, or is this just a total spin-off, totally different universe? Because it's, so different from the world.
For some reason I thought the movie I think the first Puss in Boots take place before Shrek. Shrek, and then all of Shrek occurs.
It does, I think.
Then all of Shrek occurs, and then the second movie.
Yeah.
But no, I think it's amazing how much better the animation is than the old first one.
Wait, now I actually have to think.
The movie obviously opens up at the very beginning. That woman you keep flashing back to was from the first movie.
No, yeah, I know that. I remember that scene. That was the one scene I remember. But no, because it's a better animation. What do you think?
This is when animation does better. Animation will definitely help. The fur really does feel soft. Versus, obviously, if you look at the very first Puss in Boots from Shrek 2, obviously the fur doesn't look as soft.
Well, yeah, that was made in what?
Technology.
Yeah, it's when was that made?
It looks absolutely adorable. It's I love it.
Who's cuter? Kitty Softpaws?
No, Puss.
I like Kitty Softpaws, but
I'm more of a black cat kind of person myself, but I think
I have to like her just because she's black.
She's not a full black cat, also.
Oh, so she's got a little mixed race in her.
Yes.
So because of that, she's out like Earth kid.
Yes, she's not full. She's not black enough. Which is weird because I like mixed race women. But I think she looks a little too masculine. Obviously they're not gonna make her a really feminine cat. But she looks a lot like...
Well, remember, at first, when you first see her, she's supposed to fool you into thinking she's a boy.
Well, yeah.
If I remember correctly. I haven't seen the first movie in years, so I could be wrong on that, but I think so.
I like that they didn't go overboard with that one cack. I think he's in the first movie a lot.
Uh-huh.
So I like that one little cameo he has. That's all I like about the movie. It shows a great deal of restraint, and I also was not expecting a Mary Poppins reference.
Yeah.
Also, nobody... It is good that they used him, because nobody remembers him.
I remember him.
You're nobody.
Oh, okay.
You did a Ruby reaction today. You're nobody. You're less than nobody. You're scum. You're a Ruby fag.
I just saw that, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I have to react to that. But I'm like, Nora won't have time for that.
Well, I'm also at work.
Yeah, so it's like... No, it's fine. It's like, so it's just like, I could just do it myself, and like, but then no one will see it. What's the point of doing it? It's like, I can post it on YouTube. And it's like, so I had to also make sure I restrained myself so that way I don't say anything
Last of Us edit. So yeah,
I was trying to restrain myself. Like, I was going to go in this is grace and poise. Then they said logic.
Well, I'm like, I was gonna write a comment, but I was too busy at work to write a comment, but I was gonna be like, you didn't call him cunt, 0 out of 10, would not rewatch this for accent.
I don't want to get in more trouble than I have. I've never put copyrighted material on my channel in years.
Well, yeah, like I said, for me,
I got rid of all my AMVs, so I don't have any copy, and I don't even use music anymore. That isn't, the only music that I use that's copyrighted is Amelie's. And that's only once in a blue moon. So I don't use any copyrighted material outside of the characters I draw, which is fan art. So I'm very nervous about posting that kind of stuff. I can't deal with it. So I didn't want to push it all over. You know how YouTube, Mama Susan doesn't like it when you say cunts. And
like that, some people self-censor.
Well, I like
that for me when
I self-censor just because I don't want to say that stuff in general.
No, I mean, like,
I know I just did.
They'll swear in their video and then they'll censor it.
Yeah.
So it's this weird thing where, like, for me, I'll censor. Like, for me, I make several videos uncensored, and then like several videos, I will be censored depending on what I'm doing. Like, I'll probably censor the language in the Cruella video, being the fact that they might be a little more stricter on that one because of the fact that it is a PG movie. But it is PG, isn't it?
No, it isn't.
It was the baby butt.
Huh?
I mean, like, what makes it PG-13?
The fact that they want teenagers to see it, and they don't want... teenagers won't go to see a PG movie. Although, do you think this would prove them wrong? This movie was PG last time I checked. And teenagers did go. Granted, I think they were all older teenagers to young adults, but...
There was I counted a total of 4 kids. 2 of them were from one woman.
But, no, so... I don't get the need of making every single movie... But no, DreamWorks is doing better, I think, than Disney in some ways. It's more of, like, DreamWorks, when it succeeds better, I think, than Disney.
I kind of want to see the last you go, there we go. I kind of want to see the last, How to Train Your Dragon film. I heard it was okay. Well, the How to Train Your Dragon fans who love it, because it, confirmed, because, what's the face has kids at the end.
Yeah.
Hiccup.
Yeah. I've never been that big of a fan of those movies. I didn't dislike them.
Well, see, again, that's the TV show that was connected to the series. Like I said, it proves that there's an adult audience for animation that doesn't need to be Family Guy or South Park or Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
Oh, Justin Roiland has been officially disavowed by Adult Swim, but they're continuing to make season 7 of Rick and Morty.
Wait, what?
Oh, did you not know?
No, you said that so fast.
Okay, so Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
The band of my existence. Justin Roiland, one of the head creators. Like I said, he beat his wife.
Oh.
And the court case has been going on for like 2 years.
Okay,
he got arrested. And, so he's been, Adult Swim is knocking him off. So now we call him, I call them on Discord, I call them the Nazi sitter or crapper and, the wife beater. Because I can't stand, I can't stand either of those men. I can't stand either of them. Justin Roiland is super annoying with his writing and humor, and Dan something. I think it might be, not Dan Olsen. Dan Olsen's the guy who uploaded child porn to 8chan to write an article about it. He's friends with Lindsay Ellis. Lolly talks about it in his To Boldly Sleep review.
Okay. Let's talk back about the movie. Puss in Boots.
Yes,
Puss
very
in
good
Boots.
movie.
Yeah. Yeah, it was really good. I do find it. The saddest part about the movie, honestly, though, was the opening. Was the little DreamWorks boy.
Oh yeah.
Because I
like those.
No, I didn't
like that opening because like the fanfare of a DreamWorks film directly comes from Shrek.
Yeah.
So like, why did you remove the original fanfare?
Yeah.
It's like how Star Wars was meant to have the Fox fanfare.
Yeah.
Because
like
the Fox fanfare leads straight into the intro.
They've done some things with The Boy before, but that was too much.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, I was looking at all the movies, and I'm like, most of these are newer movies, newer to me.
No, How to Train Your Dragon's over 10 years old. Kung Fu Panda's over 10 years old.
That quote I said newer to me.
No, it's
the first one they showed wasn't that Bad Guys movie, and that one just came out a couple years.
They're celebrating because they're showing off the history from the oldest. They did the newest to the oldest.
Yeah.
That's
one thing I did find funny is the bad guy, the Death. He looks kind of like the villain from the good villain from Bad Guys. So it was kind of funny that they did that.
They have a similar team, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
because the Bad Guys does a lot of the animation.
I'm saying is usually if you want. I've found it surprising because it's like usually
a lot of the animation tricks that they did and that's a very nice
usually I mean like it would almost be like you making a never movie and then you make a villain that looks very much like Puss in Boots and you go out of your way to make him look creepy. That's what's kind of which that I don't think is possible, but I'm just giving a loose example. But anyway, point being is that DreamWorks pretty much, I mean, they just said it right there. We started with Shrek. I'm like, yes, you're going to forget about Princes of Egypt and the Hotel El Dorado and Sinbad. Yes, I know that one.
We got the Hotel El Dorado. We got, Spirit. Don't forget Spirit.
Yeah, well, I couldn't think of them. I'm trying to hold in my pretzel bites.
Okay, we got No One Cares About Ants.
Yeah, No One Cares About Ants.
We got
Prince of Egypt's the first one.
Prince of Egypt. We got Spirit. We got
a whole bunch.
Technically, we got Joseph, but no one cares about Joseph either.
Yeah.
No one cares about Ben Affleck.
Goodbye, Benny boy. But no. Yeah, those are all the movies, and it's sad because those movies are not. They're good.
We're home, so final thoughts. Good movie. Go watch it.
Yep.
Oh, piss off, faggots. That was supposed to be the end.
I'm gonna lose all my friends.